Breaking news.
There you
I'm
go
going to do
again.
that again in a minute because breaking news. This is the not so breaking update about Zoom and all sorts of news related to Zoom. Check it out. There's some irony. There's some AI stuff. There's some research by your intrepid reporters, and we stand ready to continue our fight against misinformation worldwide.
So
breaking news.
Breaking news.
Sorry.
The most prepared for episode of this show we have ever done, almost literally.
And we are not joking. I think we've done more research on this topic than most of the news outlets that we've been checking.
Oh, definitely than the news outlets.
Yeah.
Okay, so
go on.
So here's what happened. We were recording a special session. John wasn't able to join us. But we decided this was so important we had to cover it because the internet exploded with news that Zoom was going to use all of your video content from your Zoom meetings to train their AI for nefarious purposes, and the internet would not abide.
There's a couple of things that we want to talk about. It's all Zoom related. One of the things that we've done the research into has been the Zoom TOS changes, which what was I going to say? This is, of course, just natural as part of our roles as world-class investigative reporters, the kind of standard that you've come to accept as a viewer. By the way, for more investigative journalism of this incredible caliber, please do subscribe to this podcast. Use that little button below because it will bring you love and joy throughout. But and then if you get 5 of your friends to sign up as well, then you get 10 times as much love and joy. So that's how it works.
Each of them gets 5 of their people.
Then it's amazing how things work.
Then you'll be rich.
We ourselves are just full of.
Oh, then we'll be rich, right? Right.
Yeah. Right.
Somebody will be rich.
Yeah. Right. So, do you want to give us a synopsis of the current situation?
So this is the story that broke the internet on August 7th. This comes out that Zoom changes its terms of service to say it won't train AI in your calls without your consent after backlash. As best I can tell, it was this article that started the backlash.
No, I think this is the same day or a day after. What the link I came across originally was on Hacker News, and it said Zoom terms. This was on.
It's a good thing I don't have that. So much for being prepared.
Yeah. Yes.
Although the Hacker News page is shit to look at anyway. So
yeah, I know. I didn't link it because you always complain about when I do that. Zoom terms now allow training AI on user content with no opt-out, and it linked directly to the Zoom's TOS. And basically, and then there were tons of other publications on Vice and The Verge and Tech News and whatever, CNBC. They were saying, "Oh my God, Zoom now allow people to use."
Got it.
And then this was published the day after because so what happened was that Zoom had in their terms of service something which they added quite some time ago, a bit that says that they can use any customer input and transcripts of customer input, so customer outputs.
Maybe I should just read the entire Zoom terms of service so that everybody in the audience understands what we're talking about.
I think that would be a great channel on YouTube. Just an AI that reads out the terms of service of various. You get a lot of content now.
Actually, that's not a bad idea. You might get people to watch that.
Yeah. So they added this part to the TOS that said that they can use customer content for training AIs. And there was a ton of backlash. The backlash that Mike alluded to earlier. Actually, not just alluded to, he explicitly referred to. Mike's highlighting the bit now, but I don't have
for the purpose of product and service development, marketing analytics, quality assurance, machine learning, artificial intelligence, training, testing, and improvement of the services, software, and Zoom's other products. oh my
Yeah.
God,
So
they're going to
basically,
use your
yeah,
conversations and private meetings to train the AIs. This is
yeah,
unacceptable.
yeah. That's how a lot of people interpreted it. So, and then there was a lot of backlash. A lot of people complained,
Incidentally,
and then
though,
yes,
this was effective March 31st.
yeah,
This is a change that was
that's the
made
thing about
months ago. Sorry
yeah.
if you were building up to that. I didn't mean to step on your punchline, but
I was. You kind of pulled the rug out
all
for
right,
me.
sorry about that.
It's okay. This is our big boom moment. This is the results of our investigative reporting. What we found out in the
I
last
spoiled it.
5 minutes of Googling is checking the Wayback Machine. Basically, everybody was getting upset because they all thought it was, Zoom has just updated their terms of service. They can use your data for AI training now. But actually, they did it back in March. And it's been like that all this time. People have only just noticed recently. And then what they did was they changed it again due to the backlash. Is they added this sentence that Mike's just highlighted.
Notwithstanding the above, the part that I just read, Zoom will not use audio, video, or chat customer content to train our artificial intelligence models without your consent.
Yeah. So when I read that, the first thing I think is, okay, why did they explicitly list out audio, video, or chat customer content? What about transcripts? They also mention what customer content actually is, and it includes output visual displays and transcripts and a bunch of other things. So it feels like they might still try and use some other stuff. The other sentence that got me from their update is, yeah, go on.
Separately, they have generative AI functionality, such as meeting transcript generation, that you also have to explicitly opt in for.
Yes, you have to. Well, I don't know. It's still a bit unclear whether you're allowing them to use that stuff. I know that's Zoom IQ. It's like providing meeting summaries, like you said, and that they need to use the stuff that they said that they're not going to use. So if you opt into it, obviously you're getting around it. The thing that gets me is that they explicitly say will not use audio, video, or chat customer content. But I think that leaves some room for other stuff as well. Anyway, presentations and visual display and transcripts seems like fair game to them. Also, they got this one, not with, hang on, what was the line that I was talking about on Discord that made me go, which was, we strive to provide transparency about data ownership in our terms of service.
This is in their clarifying article on the same day.
I feel they're maybe misusing the word strive there because they could strive harder, I think. Provide a summary.
You are very much an idealist on this front, and I suspect nothing will ever be good enough.
Oh God, it could be better. That's all I'm saying.
It could always be better. So okay,
anyway.
so this the backlash does appear to essentially have been created by Hacker News on the 6th, August 6th.
I also saw something on Reddit around the same time, so I don't know where it got there first, but it was definitely like people started complaining about that point, and nobody bothered checking the TOS like when it was actually updated. So yeah, to be fair, they did make an update on July 27th, but it was nothing related to AI. That's as far as I can tell.
Because we read it as part of our due diligence for this show, because we are legitimate journalists.
We did almost 15 minutes of research into this, which,
So kind of separately, I came across this tweet that talks about how it's possible to block ChatGPT's crawler on your website. And I think he makes a really interesting point, which I think is related to the story because it has to do with kind of donating valuable content for these companies to make shitloads of money using it to train their AIs. So, and he says, why do this? Because ChatGPT cites no sources. It's a one-way relationship where OpenAI takes what is published on the internet and then doesn't give a single reference or link back. Totally, totally true. That's also the same problem with Zoom doing this and with every other LLM on the planet doing this.
Yeah, I'm in two minds about this personally. I think it is a longer discussion, and I don't think I would manage to convince you or John that I'm right. But basically, I
Hasn't happened yet.
kind of no, yeah, Jesus, no, not yet. But hey, I live in hope.
Maybe
I'm an
someday.
optimist. Yeah, I think that like fair use. If you take something and it's a collective work, I don't know. I think it has value. Like there's stuff that you put out on the internet as like an article or a web page or whatever, and then it's used along with a lot of other stuff. I don't feel like I just don't know, man. I don't know. If it starts quoting verbatim chunks of your work, okay, that sucks. That's definitely not cool. But if it's just using it to train an AI, I feel like that's okay.
I think part of the problem is
That's my detailed analysis.
sure. Like I don't totally disagree with you, but I think part of the problem is lack of citation. But even when there's citation, we see some of this already with Google, where they'll put a snippet in the results that kind of answers the question, and it does credit the site where they're getting that from. But it's not actually sending traffic to that site. So that site's not making any ad money. It's not having the opportunity to sell anything. They're completely losing the value of generating that content for most people who are going to consume it, because it answers their question and they move on. They never actually go to the site.
Well, I feel like if I was writing something, or if I was drawing something, and I have had inspirational training from a particular person, then I wouldn't want every piece of writing, every blog post that I did to say, oh, and I learned this trick I learned this way of writing from someone else, or this is a phrase that I'm rephrasing from a particular source, or this piece of art is inspired. I don't want to have to credit that every single time, and I don't think I should have to.
But if you are operating at scale a search engine or a large language model that consumes the entire internet, can be the single source that is now the gatekeeper and reciter of it, and has to give no credit to anybody, that doesn't apply. Like that.
I know, I get the argument. I totally get it. I'm not fully convinced. I'm not fully convincing myself. I don't know. I feel I try and put myself in those shoes, and I can't say that I would want to have to do that myself. But you're right. At scale, it does change things, and especially when they have tons of money, when they could do this if they wanted to, or something approximating it. Revenue sharing. I don't know, something.
Yeah, and I think that's the money is a big part of the problem, because right now you make money on the internet by getting people to visit your page. And if the LLMs are going to eliminate the need to do that, then you're not going to create content. Also,
so this is one of my favorite stories from the last couple of days.
On the same day that they earned back all of their goodwill by changing their terms of service to protect their users' privacy.
Absolutely amazing. Yes. Even Zoom is making people return to the office. I mean, it's such an admission of failure in their mission.
How is it admission of failure?
Isn't their whole sort of ethos like, oh, we want the world to be remote? We want everybody to be able. Zoom is a tool explicitly designed to replace offices, essentially.
Is that true? It was kind of forced into that when the pandemic hit, but I don't know that I would say that was their original mission or intent.
Well, I mean, it feels like that to me. Like all the features they've added, they've got screen sharing, they've got transcripts, they've got automatic meeting summaries, they've got a calendar, they've got meeting creations, they've got pretty much all the stuff. And not offices entirely, but like it's got all the collaboration stuff in it. Have you ever, by the way, played around on someone's meeting to like adding little smiley faces?
Yeah, that's fun. I can't figure out how to do that consistently. I feel like sometimes the tool's there to do it, and sometimes it's not. I do love that tool though.
Yeah. I will always abuse that when it is available.
Draw on people's screens, for sure.
Yeah. But it's so ironic. It is so ironic that they're making people return to the office. Like why? Why? What do they, because of their big rents? I mean, is the real answer. But like, what's their justification for it? I didn't see this particular article. I read the BBC one, but...
So Zoom's mission according to their website, is to make communication frictionless.
Okay. Which requires communication face-to-face in the office, apparently.
Not necessarily requires it, but it's a completely separate issue.
Why?
Well,
okay, no.
So yes, I might have to drive to an office, but once I'm in the office, there's no less friction than actually talking to somebody face to face.
What? Sorry, wait, hang on. What? I didn't catch that. I heard what you said, but I didn't.
Speaking to somebody face to face is the least friction way to do that.
Right. So via Zoom or
no, physically in person, face to face is the least amount of friction.
Oh, right. So what they're saying is that they failed to achieve their frictionless communication method.
I don't think so. That's not how I interpret this at all.
Wait, is that what they were saying as their justification for their own work?
No, their mission as a company is to make communication frictionless, not to replace the office environment so people can do all their work from home.
I mean, it just feels like that's what they're trying to do with all the different features.
Well, they kind of stumbled into that because when the pandemic hit, companies didn't have a choice. They were scrambling for a solution, and Zoom was kind of already the market leader.
Yeah, okay. I mean, fair enough. I didn't do any research into this particular thing. I'd love to go back and see if I could find some historical quotes from the CEO or whatever to see what they were trying to do. But I think it's massively ironic that they're making people go back. I don't understand why they would need people in the office. Like, what's what they're saying? Why do they need to be in the office?
Why does anybody need to be in office, though? I mean,
I know, right?
We've talked about cases where you definitely have to be in an office. If you have hardware infrastructure to support, you have to be there. If you have a service job or a job that requires labor, you have to be there. If you're a security guard, you have to be there. Yeah. So there are lots of jobs that you don't physically have to be there for, and that does feel kind of arbitrary. I'm not totally convinced there is no benefit to having a physical office presence.
Okay, so the quote in the BBC article is, Zoom said that the new policy, which was first reported by Business Insider, would put the company in, quote, a better position to use our own technologies, continue to innovate, and support our global customers, which sounds like utter bullshit to me. Why is it going to put people in a better position to use our own technologies, being in the office versus surely being at home would be a better way to test this kind of software? Like, I mean, it's just rubbish.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, what do you think? Do you think are we wrong? Do you think that Zoom should be there? Are you a fan of hybrid approach? Tell us in the comments. Join Discord. Shout into the ether. But express yourself. That's what I'm trying to say.
Let us know what you think about this episode. We rushed to get it out to you because it was so timely. We couldn't wait one more day past March 31st to break the news about their terms of service change.
This is how much we care about our subscribers. It just shows the dedication we have to keeping you guys up to date. So, yeah.